Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці. Сьогодні відбувся черговий саміт Україна-Європейський Союз. Відбувся у Києві.
Dear Ukrainians, I wish you health. Another Ukraine-European Union summit took place today. It was held in Kyiv, our capital. We have quite specific agreements with our partners on how Ukraine will become even closer to the European Union. The morning of February the 3rd in Ukraine, like many others, began with an air raid alert. This day, like many others, was spent in extremely brutal battles at the front. But all the same, this evening we can say that Ukraine is moving towards its goal. We've preserved Ukrainian freedom, we've protected the values of Ukraine, and we will achieve the goals of our state, European goals of our state. There was a lot of confidence in this during the summit. We spoke and are already speaking as members of the European community, and we are working to fix this de jure. What exactly did we agree on today? There is an understanding that it is possible to start negotiations on Ukraine's membership in the European Union this year. The partners also understand that this year, as last year, we have to continuously strengthen the defense support of our country and the pressure on Russia, in particular the sanctions pressure. We talked today about the 10th EU sanctions package, which is currently being prepared. There are our proposals for this package. We announced them to our partners today. We discussed changes in the institutions of our state, which we are implementing and which we are still preparing to implement. Financial cooperation was discussed. Of course, we discussed the restoration of infrastructure, primarily social and energy. Also, the implementation of our fast recovery plan, what needs to be restored now. I thank the European Commission for the decision on €1 billion, which will be sent specifically to fast recovery. We are preparing for greater integration of Ukraine into the internal market of the EU. It means more income for Ukrainian companies, more production and jobs in our country, and more income for state and local budgets. That is, it is what makes Ukraine really stronger. And for me, it is very important that there are specifics regarding such areas, as, for example, replacing the children's boarding school system in our country with another one, more civilized and friendly to children who, unfortunately, do not have parental care. Children should have a family. Raising children in family-type orphanages is definitely much better than the old boarding school system. We will make this reform together with the European Union. An appropriate office will be created to be responsible for this reform, and preliminary agreements regarding this reform have already been outlined. I have already reported on the various arrangements regarding our peace formula. These are specific 10 points, the implementation of which will definitely make it possible to restore our territorial integrity and security, not only of Ukraine, but also of the whole Europe and the international legal order. That is, to restore everything that Russia's aggression is destroying. The European Union officially supported the Ukrainian Peace Formula. This was recorded in the final statement of the summit on February the 3rd, 2023. And we agreed on concrete assistance from the EU in implementing our peace formula. This is a significant diplomatic achievement, and we are doing everything to make Russia's aggression suicidal for it. The situation at the front line remains very difficult, especially in Donetsk region. I thank all our soldiers who withstand the hard pressure of the occupiers and who clearly and completely fulfill the task of defending our positions, and who, even in such difficult conditions as on the front line, now brings Ukraine good news. In particular, I thank the 10th Mountain Assault Brigade for successful counter-offensive actions in Donetsk region. Thanks to the fighters of the 54th Separate Mechanized Brigade for their bravery and true Ukrainian resilience in the battles for Donbass. The 81st Separate Air Mobile Brigade and the 66th Separate Mechanized Brigade. I thank you guys for the protection of Luhansk region and steel strengths. And I would like to single out our National Guardsmen, the 3rd Operational Brigade of the National Guard. Guys who successfully destroy enemy aircraft in Donetsk region. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who fights for Ukraine. Thank you to everyone who helps us defend ourselves from the occupier. Thank you to everyone who strengthens our international positions and helps get weapons for Ukraine. I spoke with the Minister of Defense of Poland in Kyiv. He, together with other partners and the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, took part in the third meeting of the states that are members of our 10th coalition, We are doing everything to ensure that our soldiers receive modern tanks as soon as possible. And today, the United States announced another large package of defense support for our country. I thank President Biden, all friends of freedom in Congress, every American for this tangible support. Now we must work together to deliver this aid to Ukraine as quickly as possible. And one more. There are other sanctions decisions of the National Security and Defense Council of our country against those who work for Russian aggression. The decrees on the implementation of the decisions of the National Security and Defense Council have already been prepared. And separately, I thank the employees of the Security Service of Ukraine, the State Bureau of Investigations, the National Police, and the Prosecutor General's Office for taking new steps to restore justice after the actions of those who did not understand that in public positions one should work only for the interests of the state. Glory to Ukraine.